There's a little demon skills menu over here. Thoughts reading. Can I click on it? No? Oh, this little heading is for demon skills and they're all going to be down here. Why is it so far away? I guess maybe like this sort of default location. No. No, it doesn't really fit like the layout of the screen. I don't know, it looks weird. Just it overlapping with my character at all looks kind of weird. Huh. If only they had like this whole extra area. Like an extra quarter. You know, like they have the 1, 2, 3, 4. And they could put it there. And put this experience meter like down here where there's empty space. And then they have like a nice like, whoa, it was the part of your skills that was missing all along. But then they didn't do that. They just put it over here in the middle of nowhere. It's cool. It's fine. It's just it would fit really well over there, you know? Like really well. Hey Washington, you're right here, aren't you? And that's Pyagi. I can't talk to Pyagi. I wanna know what Pyagi's deal is. Was he being possessed earlier? I think he was. But I couldn't ask home about it, and I really wanted to. Why can't I do things I want to do? Washington. We need to touch base a little bit. Like, namingly that she's super dead. Mom's dead, Washington. What? Oh, it was just that.
A map of Vermont.
She was kind of important to our plans, wasn't she? Whatever our plans are. I mean, I've kind of been left unmoored from the entire plot and like core plans up until this point now, because mother figure is both defined as not being my mom now and is dead, and now I have a new father figure, and what even are my motivations at this point? Like I need to figure that out from here on out. Like what is my goal in this? As a what meaning am I going to derive from all this?
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place. I have a project to show you. It is time that the United States played a more important role on the world stage. I understand your reluctance of playing with fire. I know your new country is very young, but rest assured that I would do nothing to jeopardize what we have built together. I look forward to seeing you soon. Your friend, William.
Don't do it, George. He's gonna get you. He's gonna get you. Whoa. Oh, gives 3 essence points. It's been added to the overall list of things. Let's just get rid of the negative alterations. There we go. Because I had +1 effort cost for every action I'd perform. And I thought it would go away if I slept, but no. Like, it really frames our character as a drug addict to some extent when that kind of negative effect happens. It will just stay there forever until he takes a drug that makes it go away. Because even sleeping and waking up the next day, which is what we've done, didn't get rid of it. That's a little... huh. The dedicated Washington room has a portrait of Washington in it. I guess it's different when you're a president, but me as a person, if they're like, you can stay in the guest room, and then you go in the guest room and there's like a giant portrait of you in there, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? But these are weird, very different people, like based in just the basic premise of what they are. Hey Pyagi, I'd like an update on what's up with you.
I haven't the time, Louis. His Holiness awaits my report. I haven't the time.
You don't have time, you have to make a report. Alright, why are you sitting there then? We can go in here again. Nothing has changed in here since the first room, first episode, I believe. It's just kind of remaining unlocked. And I guess someone must be lighting new candles in here constantly, right?
30 November, 1791. My dear sister, the cancellation of our...
We've read that before. Was it voice acted before, though? Yeah, this is all... nothing new. I wonder if she's gonna come up again somehow. She's out there in the wild. She doesn't have to be afraid of, my mother anymore. what does that fear of my mother mean in the context of the idea of Mortimer being a demon? Was Adams a demon too? Oh, there's Washington. Now I've got to remind myself, shit, was Adams verified as being a demon earlier? Maybe? No. Oh, because they were talking about how they squabbled over Adams. Because Adams's father is Mortimer's father, which I think is Jesus? It's really weird.
Why is this study in such a mess? Looks like Voldemort's planning something.
It's so weird to say these things out loud. That's just the state the story is in now. So odd. And we've been here. Has anything changed?
What a mess. Looks like Voldemort was interrupted.
I think this might just be another chance to look at, to discover the thing about the Necronomicon. Ooh, what's this?
A chemistry set. That's not surprising coming from von Wollner. A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
Oh yeah, I'm stealing. Who doesn't like stealing things? So I still don't know why my mom died. Is it because I'd walked up to Mortimer instead of just making for the door and escaping immediately? Is it because I failed the Piaggi interaction? Like, do you have to nail the Piaggi interaction, get the spear immediately, and then you win? Or was there... And also, was it decision based? Like, is it because I failed the Piaggi thing directly and then went around and so on? Or did I just straight up just play the episode too slowly and then she died? Like, I don't... Was it just an invisible real-time time limit that was happening? I don't know. I just got blindsided by a time limit that I didn't know existed.
Louis, busy as always, I see. How lucky you are. I must admit I'm trying to kill the boredom myself.
I get the impression we're all in the same boat.
And here I was thinking you might have some juicy gossip.
Why can't I mention, hey, my mom died? Remember my mom? The character that was in the core to our alliance that we have here? Why is that not... We're like, man, we're all so bored. Do you have any gossip? How about the death that just happened? No?
Me? No, nothing at all. And you?
I would like to be able to say yes, but it's been dead quiet. The only one with anything to say is Duke Manuel. But with that accent of his, I don't understand a word he says. It's exasperating.
Right. I've wasted enough time. I'll keep our conversation to myself, Mr. President. Anyway, I must be going now.
See you later, Louis.
Like, I get how I might not want to come out and be like, by the way, I'm a demon. Also, demons exist. Out of nowhere. But, like, I can't even be like, hey, my mom died? Or does he not know that? Like, do I have to introduce it to people for them to even know? Or, like, would that not be news that got around at all?
Dante's paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortar world must ripen in our rays.
Because there was a witness for her death. You know, the murderer. What are you doing? Just sweeping away over here.
Pardon me, monsieur, but I have work to do.
Yeah, we've kind of looped around. If I'm supposed to join Mortimer in his study, he's probably right upstairs. I believe this is his study. Yeah. Does Mortimer acknowledge that my mom died? Publicly? You mean the character who has the giant hole to hell is a demon? Nah. Hey, is that my Longinus? The leaf-shaped spear with the fish on it. Alright. That's good news. Doop. I'm all out of Devil's Thorn. Or I'm out of space for Devil's Thorn, I mean. Well, now I know that I'm free to use it next fight if I want to. Next conversation, and I can recoup the losses right there.
Dante's Purgatory. Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the imperfect grub, the worm before it's attained its final form? Charming.
Whenever I hear about the Dante trilogy, it sounds baffling. It sounds like somebody just writing a bunch of fan fiction about like all the historic figures that they liked and just self-inserting himself into said fan fiction. Is Dante the original Mary Sue?
Louis, I was sure you would stay. I'm proud of you. You've made the right choice. You must have been disappointed not to have been able to speak to Sarah one last time. I would have liked her to tell you herself.
Well, I guess I'll never know now.
True. Even so, there is one more thing I haven't told you about her. Sarah was my daughter.
What? But why didn't you tell me the truth about her?
I thought that might be too many truths to absorb at one time. I intended to tell you afterwards. You were in a hurry, so I made a decision. You've been able to understand and choose for yourself. How do you feel?
Hard to say.
Blah. Let's remind ourselves of what he's vulnerable to again. He's immune to conviction in science, and he has mysteries left to be discovered. By the way, Sarah's my daughter, and you're my son, so that makes Sarah, who is dead now, so I guess demons can die via how did she die? Did she get shot or stabbed or strangled? Like I don't think a wound was explained, was it? Was Hillsborough holding something? I'm trying to remember. But I guess they could just die unless she was like faking it. But I guess she was my aunt? No, she was my sister. That makes, yeah, Sarah was my sister pretending to be my mother, if what he says is true at all, which unfortunately we can't cross-compare because we can't ask her, because she died conveniently before we ever got to meet her. So I just have to take everything he's saying at face value at this moment, because we're completely detached from any other people that can even tell me what's going on in this story, besides what was previously the villain, and might still be the villain. This is... this puts me in a really awkward position for being able to believe anything that anyone ever says in a game that was already about not being able to really believe anything that anyone ever says. Great.
Worried. I wonder where it's all going to end.
What could be more normal? It may have been a bit brutal, but you've just grown up in a very short space of time. From now on, you can influence your own future. I will guide you. We've all the time we need.
You're not the first to make me that offer.
What do you mean by that?
Your brother, Sir Gregory.
Gregory. Why am I not even surprised? What did he say?
He's not thinking about anything.
Louis, what have I taught you? Never try to read the thoughts of a demon more experienced than yourself. You cannot read my thoughts. Why won't you learn your lesson? This is the last time I will warn you.
I tried it because, for all I know, he's lying to me. For all I know, it's super easy to read their thoughts, and he just didn't want me to try a single time. So I tried anyway.
I think he's worried about you.
Worried? Marvelous. That's just like him. You know, in a family like ours, we all have a role to play. And his is to worry about everyone else. Let me reassure you, there's no reason for him to worry about me.
Like the relationship with your father, for example.
It's sometimes complicated, I must admit. I like to understand things, even if it means thinking outside the box. In fact, that's a character trait that you seem to have inherited.
You haven't answered about your father.
What did I tell you? You are too curious, my son. Let time do its work. I don't impose anything on anyone. I'm just following my own path.
But where does it lead?
I suppose I should explain. For centuries now, demons have emerged in and around great leaders all over the world. But like true tyrants, they have governed with an iron fist in a studded glove.
That's the impression I get.
But you see, people's discontent is increasing, and they are too high up to hear it. They take themselves for gods. Sooner or later, the people will turn against us, just as they have in the past. Each time it's happened, many of us have died. We must master the humans, yes, but gently. And the best way of doing that is by allowing them a free choice, Louis.
You really are trying to liberate men.
Of course, not entirely, no. It is easier to keep control over people who slumber than people who are oppressed. A man with nothing to lose is a dangerous man. Whereas, if you give him a roof, food, and entertainment, he will do whatever you want. The best way of getting them to achieve something is to make them think it was their idea. For that, they have to feel as if they are free.
Hang on. What do you mean?
Look at the United States. From the start, I introduced an idea that will change everything. The idea that everything is possible. Everyone can become someone. Is there anything more beautiful?
You mean it's not true?
Man can move mountains when he believes it is in his own interest. And what nobler cause is there than his own freedom?
Do you have any more examples?
Of course.
Talk to me about slavery.
Well, take the slave trade, for example. It's an archaic practice that simply has to stop. Today, black slaves of America work for free and in unbearable conditions. Tomorrow, if you free the blacks and offer them work along with a salary, they will bless you for it. Then, they will be integrated into the system. They will be taxable. Once they are free, they will have to work for a roof, pay taxes, and feed their families. Maybe we could take away the civil rights of prisoners, for example. In this way, we'll keep control of all those who respect the system and benefit from the others as a workforce.
This game's just getting gross. So we're talking about using democracy to pacify people, to make them feel more satisfied while still not actually having control, which I can relate to, because boy oh boy, in the United States we just don't really actually have control over anything, and we just have like, it's like almost a performative democracy where we never get to feel like we're doing anything or affecting anything. Also, the shadows are like floating like 6 inches away from those books. What's happening there? And the other books have completely different lighting, I guess because of the candles. There's some weird stuff happening on the shadows of that desk. This camera angle looks better. Jesus. And then they're talking about, well, see, if we keep black people in slavery, then they'll rebel. So what we need to do is we need to turn them into normal employees and workers. And then we need to just burden them with so much work and responsibilities and so on that they end up basically feeling like they're in the same place, but like they earned it and like it's what their destiny was. And then extra insidious shit of taking away the rights of prisoners, therefore converting them into slaves, which is like a whole thing that the United States does, is that we like to refuse to let convicts vote, refuse to let like ex-prisoners vote, like people that used to be convicts and then they serve their sentence and they're supposed to be rehabilitated or they've done their time and then they still can't vote for the rest of their lives, and then of course getting people to basically be a slave workforce in prison, and that's modern. So yay.
What obscurantism by harping on this concept of good and evil, guilt and redemption. Look where men are now, locked up in beliefs that should no longer exist. It's time for men to rediscover themselves and to take control of their lives as they really are, without any moral judgment.
And what would you propose for women?
They must be given the right to work and to vote. Look, at the moment they don't work. They take care of raising children. What a mistake. We have to get them out of the house. Make them work. In this way, not only will they become consumers, but they will also delegate the job of education to the system. We could guide humanity from a young age, Louis, don't you see? Today we are wasting too much time.
I don't like this anymore. Contextualizing women being able to vote and work as being a way to manipulate children by indoctrinating them in government systems, so that where they're out of reach of the family. Bruh. I don't like this guy. Like, I never liked him, but now I like him even less because everything he says is just the most insidious, horrible shit. And it's funny because it's such a mixed bag because, like, the world is all monarchies and whatnot right now, and a move towards democracy does seem like an improvement. So, like, in a way, his goal is an improvement, but like it's a yeah. I guess it's kind of like when Republicans have to deal with like the KKK being on their side, where it's like you're on, you vote for the same thing, but for like reasons I'm not happy with, is basically the feeling I'm getting from the idea of like, I think I agree with his idea of wanting to switch towards democracy and emancipate women and slaves and everything, but also the way he says it makes me question wanting those things, because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Tell me what you think about progress.
Progress is essential, Louis. It's the future.
What else?
Progress must liberate humanity from burdensome chores. Progress must replace man wherever his presence is not obligatory. It creates both the desire and the need. It will liberate women as soon as the machines are able to do all the chores in the home automatically. It will bring men together by bringing a faster means of locomotion. Look at the cultural revolution that printing brought about. But the most important of all has already been laid. The foundation stone. Freedom of speech. The First Amendment of the Constitution. There must be opponents to every project. So, above all, don't develop a one-track approach, otherwise man won't have enough room for expression to feel free. If man sees his chains, he will only want to break them. If we give men the feeling that they are free, I am convinced that they will exceed their limits, and it is only from that condition that humanity shall rise up.
But do you want to dominate or raise humanity higher?
I want it to advance. I want it to progress. Man is our vessel. If he progresses, then so do we. Wouldn't you like to know what we really are?
Who do you mean? Demons?
Yes, us. Our species. I've been searching for centuries, trying to find a way to explain the reason of our existence. But humanity has not yet evolved enough to make any progress on the subject. I am convinced that the sciences will bring that knowledge someday.
So, that's your objective, is it? To understand who we are?
Considering his goal, I feel like it's going to be a big whoopsie when he realizes the invention of nuclear weapons and all that. That was a little weird because they were just talking about the concept of progress. Like, I think they both seem to be talking about inventions and technological progress, and weirdly he just talked about a bunch of uninvented stuff from the future like it's already been invented, which seems like a little bit weird. But they were just saying the word progress with no additional context, which just made it feel like they were making leaps.
I understand your goal, but the change you propose is not really as significant. It is merely more smoke and mirrors.
You must understand that we directly depend on men. Consequently, we have to do our utmost to help them progress and to prevent them from killing each other.
And you think that's been a success? Humanity? It's almost always at war. And it's been this way forever.
Look, I'm not saying that the task is easy. We've all had failures. And at times we have even suffered from conflicts on our own side. I'm doing my best to improve the situation. Our family clings to its privileges and to the past. And that's how they are putting us in danger. The time has come for change. Now that you know your true nature, there are still a few things I need to teach you.
What do you mean exactly?
A new skill, and not the least, Louis. It's about taking control of a person.
I'm trying to remember where the timeline works out with this game, but him wanting to replace monarchies with democracies feels like this, especially with the many French characters in this game. The French are more overrepresented compared to other countries. Feels like they're setting up the French Revolution basically as being the final result of this game happening.
How do you do it?
It's an animal resonance. How it works is still a bit unclear even to us.
Like a wave or a sound?
That seems the most likely, yes. In my opinion, demons are capable of tuning their psychic frequency to that of others. That is why, for example, I tend to surround myself with deaf and dumb servants. The servants dressed in black. I infiltrated them. I opened a channel between them and me, and then I deprived them of speech and hearing. This way, no other demon can turn them against me.
Alright. So on top of being forced to wear masks and everything, your servants have been forcibly reduced in capabilities. I'm guessing that was against their will. What a great guy, you know? But I can't get over the fact that those shadows are just so far away from the things they're coming from on the left side of the screen. Like, what's up with those shadows? Weird.
I don't see how I could do that.
I shall help you the first time.
Okay, let's not waste any more time.
I deduce that you're impatient to master what's in store for you. That is good. I thought I'd mix business with pleasure for this first time.
What do you mean by that?
The conference will come to a close shortly, as you know. Not that I'm fed up with archaic diplomacy, but it's time to ensure the success of this project. To make this happen, I would like Piaget to inform the Pope he has changed sides.
Excuse me? But first of all, I like our own character less now, because he's just so into this. There's no option to not be super into this at the moment. Like, he's just like, yes, I'm ready. Teach me how to control people with my mind. Like, I'm just concerned about our protagonist now. Also, didn't they specifically say they're not supposed to interfere with this conference? It's like, are they just planning on cheating already? Like, moments after teaching me that that's not supposed to be how you do this?
You're going to use your powers to alter the votes?
The real game is about to begin, Louis. Up till now, the guests have been sizing each other up. From now on, it's time for Gregory and myself to play, as well as you yourself. Now, here is my plan. I would like you to join His Eminence in his room.
Just play along. We'll see when the time comes. Very well. And then?
You're going to have to trust me. What we're going to do is painless for the human you are going to invade.
Invade?
Yes. You're going to enter his mind and take control. You're going to influence his actions and his psyche.
Dude, read the room. A moment ago I was like, isn't that intrusive? For just reading people's minds. Now like, now I'm gonna teach you how to dominate people's very will. I'm like, we didn't really progress towards this over time. We kind of just dove right in.
Make him speak Then concentrate. You must focus on him in order to feel his thoughts. Then, while speaking, you must link with him. Once you're done, you will naturally find your way to the source and enter into his thoughts.
But what if I fail?
Trust in your instincts. You just have to let yourself go. You have the skill. Let your nature come to the fore. You'll see. If you fail, you'll be in for some light banter with His Eminence. That's all. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Very well.
Perfect. Go now. The Cardinal is in his room. You will have to write a letter to the Pope as if Piaggi had written it himself. In this letter, tell the Pope that whatever happens during the conference, he must follow my propositions. But be careful. In order to protect himself from counterfeiters, the Pope had Piaggi's hand tattooed with a symbol to be sure of his identity. You'll see when you're inside him. You'll understand. Once it's written up, just bring it back to me, and I'll send it off immediately.
All right, I'll take care of it.
So are we just obeying this guy now, or? My dear Guido Poletti, I'm writing you with regard to the dates and paintings I sent you. I think that was the puzzle I did to get past there. Where? I think I remember this painting, but wasn't there... What opened it again? I don't remember how it opened, because I was definitely able to see there was like a vault behind it. I don't really remember how that worked. Alright. He said that he's in his room. Can I go downstairs and poke around? Let's see. Yeah. There's the one. Saturn devouring his son. I just wanted to see if anyone's around. Book? Nope. Always want them collectibles. I'm wondering if the game's ever going to have one of their masks come off, and we're going to see that, like, he's done horrible things to them or something. Because he still thoroughly seems like the villain. Like, inescapably. Royal jelly. Alright, I'll use one of these.
Great. Honey.
Good chance to stock up on my stuff. What was that?
Chronicles of the Amber Princess. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
Yeah, but I want the amber.